Good afternoon. Welcome to PJ and the Beard. This is our 19 conversation series. This is episode number 57. I know when we started talking about this, there was no way in the world we thought we were doing 57 of these.
We didn't think we were going to get to the 19. That was kind of a joke.
Right. With the commitment issues both of us have. The fact that we made it to 19 was amazing. 57 is downright incredible. Pete Hickson, what's up, man? How are things down under? Good morning to you. There's Za. How's Brazil going? What's up in Brazil? And Sean Zimmerman popping in. Awesome. You know, putting that, I don't know if anybody caught it, but we put out today the Telecaster makeover video thing that we were talking about, which might be the first, might be the last. We're not really sure. There's maybe some other things to do to that or other Telecasters, so we'll have to wait and see. But we put that out today. I don't know if you got a chance to watch that. But I totally forgot how much work goes into putting a video. You know, with this, it's like, especially when we don't have a guest, I'm like copying the title, changing the number, putting the same description in, copying and pasting a couple tags and hitting go, basically. And that's actually twice as much work as I was doing in the beginning of the series. But then I had to go back and update like 25 videos or 30 videos. So I started doing it when I made them. But last night I got the video done. I started rendering. I'm like, cool. I just need to upload it to YouTube. Oh, I do the description and put in the end cards and put in the cards and make a thumbnail. And it's like, what? This hour of, or this social distancing and not doing it has wrecked me. How are we putting out 2 videos a week?
Right.
My workflow has been hampered. Like it's all messed up. Brian Landreth says those pickups sound great. Yeah, I agree. And by the way, Brian, the pickups and the Gretsch sound great too. So Brian posted a video of his Gretsch today. So if you haven't seen that, definitely go check out Brian's video. Subscribe to his channel if you're not. Although I think the people that are here probably are. Oh, pretty telling today's video from Za. Thanks, man. Yeah, it's an old. That was my first guitar.
Yeah, we'll probably talk a little bit more about that as we go along. There's Brody checking in.
Brody. Oh, and we can pull up a picture of Brody's. We can use Brody for Are You Bored Today?
Right.
Are you bored?
Brody's segment will be called, Do You Want to Build a Board Today?
And Za, I know that you're what? Za's in like high school, right? Getting ready to graduate from high school. But if you have a little pedal board that you've been using down there, man, send us a picture. Go to PJ and the Beard on Facebook and send us a picture so we can pull it up. Doesn't have to be anything special. If you have 3 pedals, send us a picture. If you have 1 pedal, what's your favorite one? I don't know. I like that Are You Bored segment. We're just not getting enough
Right.
Not getting enough pictures to keep it going. Maybe we need to do some more promotion of that. I don't know. Brian says the Bigsby looks cool. The Bigsby is fantastic. I really like it. I'm really interested to play with that guitar live.
Yeah.
I wasn't a fan of any tremolo bar. I don't even put them in on the Strats when I use the Strat. But the Tajima, the Jazzmaster, I really kind of like the way that my Strats are really, the springs are tight, right? They're really pressed down the bottom, bottom.
Right.
Body. The Tajima floats a little bit more. And I like that. I liked how you can just kind of tap it and get that. What you were doing basically in the video with the Bigsby, I was doing on the Tajima. I really like that live. So I'm really interested to use that guitar live. Well, Zav, it makes you feel better. When I was your age, I didn't even have a guitar.
That's true.
So, yeah. Didn't have a guitar. Wanted one. Didn't have one. So, Anyway, where are we at? We at the clip yet, or do we wait?
We could. We could. We got a lot of the usual suspects.
I feel like I want to wait a little bit because
You can.
This is big.
Right.
I hyped this one up yesterday, right? I mean,
That's right.
I feel like we need to get a lot of people in. It's a mind-blowing moment, maybe. Not really, but
I think Brian's suggestion of the pickups has struck a deep insecurity. He's nervous that we don't like them.
And stay tuned for our new video we're releasing next week. It's called "Why Brian Landreth Was Wrong."
That's right. Thank God we didn't pay for them.
No, they're wonderful. They're wonderful, not just
Yeah.
because they were sent to us. You know, like I know that there's people that get uptight about that. Well, if you didn't pay for them, then you just say anything. No, they're really. I don't need to say anything. Just listen to the clip. You can hear it. You can hear it in the. I think you can hear it in the video. That. Put it this way: if you can hear that they sound that much better in the video, imagine in the room.
Well, right, and I think we're kind of jumping into the guitar a little bit here, but we both touched nothing, right? Like mine was for different reasons. You didn't touch anything on the amp because that's how you had it set for the stock pickup. So you didn't change anything to make them sound better or worse. It was just like, we're going to plug them in, run the tone volume wide open, compare them. And for me, my Classic 30 is kind of set the way it's set, and I've played a couple different guitars over here, mostly humbuckers, and I didn't change anything when I plugged it in. So we didn't really even probably get the maximized sound out of them yet, and they sounded good.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm not a tweaker. Are you? Sounds terrible. Are you a tweaker?
Yeah, brah.
50% of the comments on our YouTube channel insinuate that we're tweakers, but
that's what they ask about it. I'm just looking down. No, I'm really not. I'm just kind of looking at my amp. I mean, it's set pretty much the same all the time. Really just kind of volume up and down. Maybe slight EQ adjustments, maybe. Because, the PV Classic 30 has a bass, middle, treble. And oddly enough, I have all of them at about... I have the bass at, it goes to 12. It's even one more than 11. So I've got like the bass on 9, the treble on, or the middle on 9, and the treble on like 7.5. And it just kind of lives there most of the time. So the only thing I would have done was turn the volume up and down, because I was trying to also adjust it for the little Tascam thing we were using to get the amp running right to where the meter would just be touching the red on certain spots. So that probably, I probably tweaked more on the amp to get the output where we wanted to get it to record my part than I did about tone shaping.
Yeah, I tend not to do that. Like, if it's funny because that when we recorded that Tajima episode, SD came over and he tried to make the Hot Rod Deluxe sound like a Hot Rod, sound like a Fender Deluxe Reverb. Right. And he changed everything on that amp. And I think we recorded 2-3 episodes after that before I finally was like, it just doesn't sound right to me. And went over and looked at the amp and went, oh, yeah, he changed everything, and started like kind of changing it back. But I don't find that I do a lot. I don't find that I tweak amps a lot. The amp at the church where we play on Sundays, it cracks me up because I'll go in, they'll be like, you need to turn down. I'm like, I haven't touched the volume in 2 years. Like, if it was good every other week, literally, I haven't touched the amp in 2 or 3 years. I haven't changed a thing on it. Like, you could roll duct tape over the top of it, and that would be fine.
You could put goop over the top of it like a Dumble circuit.
Right. Get epoxy out, pour it over the thing so you can see where the knobs are, but you can't change them. Zaz said that he's saving money to go to college, buy college materials, because he's going to be a dentist. He had mentioned that before. Making predictions, huh? If you become a dentist, someday you'll be able to get whatever panel you want.
Yeah, Brian Lander said the same thing.
Right. Yeah. Put your money. That's a good place to put your money. College materials. That's a good place. You can play when you get older. You can waste money.
Yeah, there's the phrase, put your money where your mouth is. He's gonna get his money where other people's mouths are.
We'll put other people's money where their mouth is. Brad said he could definitely tell the difference. He did the same thing on a Les Paul when he put in the guitar bizarre humbuckers. Didn't change a thing. It was night and day. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess since we're still talking about the guitar, and maybe we'll play. I don't know what our thought was. I think you kind of showed some clips, just how you were building the video yesterday, but I don't know how we even come across if you played any part of that comparison. But the thing I noticed was in the video, the stock pickups had probably a higher output, and so but when you played the riff after you played the one on the stock one, the volume loss kind of caught your attention, but then everything after that was like, wow, this sounds so much clearer, so much more complexity to this sound.
When you hit that second riff is kind of like a Delbert McClinton shaky ground kind of thing, and when you hit that E chord in there, so the first riff is just like kind of a blues shuffle thing, right? And the second one, when it hits that E chord, that's to me where you go, oh, okay. And if you listen, and all three pickups, if you listen for the E chord, the single note you can tell the difference, but if you listen for the E chord, I'm like, wow, that's really a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
So I said the virus situation is getting worse, so he'll probably be in quarantine on his birthday in January 20th. Wow. Now, did it get... Maybe I shouldn't ask this because we try to avoid these topics, but was it bad, got better, and you started opening up and then it got worse, or has it just been progressively getting worse? Just out of curiosity. I don't want to start a thing.
Right.
With no politics zone.
Because I haven't heard much about Brazil per se, as far as what's been happening there.
Right.
Back to the pickups real quick. I knew we were on to something when, for whatever reason, I went for the overdriven sound first. And when I had it in the rear, and again, I was using the honker overdrive, but I certainly strummed through it without it. But so there was a small bit of tone shaping on the honker overdrive, but for the most part, that rear pickup does not kill you. Which pretty much every single coil humbucker or single coil rear pickup I always dial the tone off of, and I didn't have to with this one. So,
you were saying that. That's I mean, I really like the sound. I thought on the video the sound of the bridge pickup was probably, to me, the most startling change. I thought they all sounded better, but that one is like night and day.
Yeah.
Brian asked if we like the graphics and sound effects in the Gretsch video. Yeah, they made me laugh. He starts playing, and you hear "ooh," and at first I thought something else was on. I'm like, yeah, that's Brian. But the best graphics, Brian, were in the other video you did. The song you put out maybe yesterday, where some of the memes were just not right.
Yeah.
Just not right.
Yeah, you had Pink Floyd with Floyd from Mayberry. I didn't get to watch the Gretsch one, but I watched the other one last night. Yeah, the bridge does bite without like nails on a chalkboard. Like it really, I don't know. I was just really impressed with that. I kind of knew first pickup I tried, I'm like, "Ooh, we're on to something here." And it even, like Jason said, it comes through on the video as well. So if those somewhat nuances come through on the video, you can imagine what it was like in the room.
Right. We need to check out, and then Zah mentioned those Coco pedals. I guess you say Coco, Caco. I don't know how you say it, but that's a relatively inexpensive line of pedals. We should probably check out.
Right.
I'm sure there's videos on them from Mr. Board himself, right?
That's right.
I'm just mad that he got that name before we did. Brad says he wants to tell you with a Bigsby. Yeah, I mean it's not a bad upgrade. I mean as far as installing it, I wouldn't do it, but you know, if you know a little bit about setting up the neck and stuff like that, but even to have a Luther do it, local guy do it. So let's see. Brian said the bridge had bite. Okay, I think are we ready for the clip? Are you ready for the clip? You want to keep talking about?
I think we're ready.
Yesterday,
Here comes the clip.
Here comes the clip.
Probably get a
what if we get Josh Scott to sing those for us? You know, we could come up with like 8 of them and have him sing them.
Yeah,
or maybe we could go clip out the words and put. You know how they do that with people? They auto-tune it.
Yeah,
it could be fake Josh Scott singing. Here comes the clip.
It's only a matter of time before we get a cease and desist from Nick Lou, though, his partner.
We went down the Women in Rock or Women on Guitar Avenue yesterday, and I said I have one, and I was like, let's end the conversation before somebody steals mine. I like this girl. I think she can play. Has nothing to do with being a girl. She's just a great performer, great vocalist, great guitarist, great performer. Whole package there. And so here's the clip of the day. I just need to hit a couple buttons. Boom.
Oh, she was a she-man. Yeah, she was taking care of the band. Catch it on the fly, yeah. Got the tape on everything, barely get them by. She got cash in her bra, she loves it on her skin.
Yeah.
I think she was on the Experience Hendrix tour. I think I saw her.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah, she was good.
Yeah, she was on Experience Hendrix.
And in that clip, I'm like, is that Randy Jackson on bass? Because he does play bass. He played on a Journey album, For the Love of Pete. But yeah, I know she's really good, and she was super like aggressive in her playing and just confident, comfortable. Like,
oh yeah, she tears it up. She comes out. It's a force, you know. Like there's some people that have that thing, like start to finish. I'm here to play. I'm here to. We talked about that. We talked about that with I forget what band it was, but. Early on when this started, we were like, you know, how bad people wanted to play and talked about. She's like that every time. It doesn't matter. She comes out. Right. She's there. She's there to play. She's there to.
She's already in post-virus shape. She's ready to go.
So I dig her. I think she's cool. If you've never heard of Anna Popovic, check her out. I think you'll find that she has some cool stuff.
Zaz said the bassist dances like an animatronic. He might be from Bear Jamboree at one of the theme parks. I'm not sure.
So very cool stuff. Probably imagine if she got a Twisted Telly pickup.
Whole nother level.
Yeah. Well, then you've already been talking about her if that were the case.
That's right.
Has the stage presence, yeah.
Yep.
Brian made a comment earlier that absolutely cracked me up. He said, regarding that one video, my mother had stern words of me about it. It's so funny. I don't know about Pat, but I know for me, when we started this, there was a bit of that, I can't put anything out that mommy wouldn't like. You know, like 46 or 47, whatever it is, even at 47 years old, I don't want to have the stern words from my mommy over content.
Well, you've got a double filter, right? You got the mom factor, and then you also have your career. So, like, this is It's not that we're the nicest goody two shoes people in the world. We just have some strong filters.
Last thing I need is a parent calling a principal and saying, "Do you know what your teacher said?"
Yeah, we struggle with the filter that keeps the stuff from coming into the brain, but the filter from the brain to the mouth does work occasionally. If we could work on this filter up here, we wouldn't have to work so hard on this filter right here. But that's all part of maturing.
Right.
All men are frozen as 12-year-old boys, so it's the cross we all have to bear.
Brian says he really reins himself in for us. We appreciate that.
Yeah, I think Ben. Go ahead.
We're fixing to let you off the.
That's right. I think Ben Combs even dialed it down a little bit for us. Now, Bosco France, on the other hand.
yes, Bosco. Herding cats, Bosco France.
Yeah. That was great. Yeah.
Pedal today?
Yeah.
Just looking around in this, I saw this one and I thought, because I've been thinking about it. We talked about what did I call it last night? The minimum maximum board?
I think it's what it was, yeah.
Yeah, like the minimum amount, we've said this before, the minimum amount of knobs with the maximum functionality. Like, what would that look like? And so this is a pedal that I've been thinking about that might be good for that. This is the MXR Micro Chorus.
I thought that was a Leslie pedal.
Yeah, a fantastic chorus until you get it.
Not quite dimed, but close.
Right. Not dimed. Right.
That's
about there. It's a fantastic, fast Leslie sounding pedal. And so I think if you look at the comparison guide we did, there's a link. There is a clip of us playing that at the fast speed, but we haven't done the actual episode where we have an episode planned called Alternative Leslie Pedals or something like that, right? So pedals that get that Leslie sound without maybe having to put a Leslie pedal on your board. This one's great. Not quite all the way up, a little bit back. Get a fantastic Leslie sound. We had somebody question us on the webpage actually about this pedal because it was also used in the preview, right?
Yeah.
We did like a series preview, and somebody was basically calling us a bunch of idiots because we don't know what a Leslie is, and of course, pedal's not a Leslie. Now, if you talk to Josh Scott, he will tell you that most of the Leslie sounds that you hear from like Nashville artists and people that are recording come from chorus pedals. And I think it's the one that's super popular. We weren't able to get our hands on it. Is it the Aryan?
Oh yeah, right.
It was a cheap pedal, but like all the guys really like that one.
That's not the one that David Barber has, is it? That's not the one he has, right?
No. Because it's a chorus pedal. It's like the Aryan chorus pedal from like the 80s. Right. If somebody was really interested, I could maybe go back through messages with Scott or Josh and figure out which one it is.
Well, we got his Emperor chorus for that very reason. To try out the Leslie part of it. Because when he did his show about expression pedals, I think that's what he featured. But
which one?
When we bought Josh's chorus pedal, because he used it like a Leslie.
Right.
As part of that Splinter series.
And we were probably that would be in that show. A couple more people joining us with the dog paw down there and Jack the Rabbit. What's up, guys? They missed Anna Popovic. I mean, I don't even know.
What's that?
They missed Anna Popovic. I mean,
all right, I'll play it again. Let's pick it.
Should we watch a little bit more?
Sure. Brian Lander said, "Did you see Jennifer Batten on Pete Thorne? She's a cool person and a monster player. She's more than a chick guitar player." That he hates that term. Yeah, I went over it ad nauseum yesterday. It's kind of a hard thing to bring up because in the effort to not belittle them, you kind of end up belittling them, trying to qualify all of your statements. But yes, but we're still talking about it.
Wait, did you say girl guitar player?
Yeah. What?
I'll be right here tomorrow night to do it all again. She was a me. Oh, sound in the microwave. She was a she-man. Yeah, she was taking care of the band.
Did she say she was a she-man? She was the leader of the band there? Is that what she's saying?
I'm horrible with lyrics, you know. There's a bathroom on the right, you know. Excuse me while I kiss this guy. Don't ask me about lyrics.
Did anybody pick up that she was using a custom audio electronics wah pedal?
Let's get Bob Bradshaw on this for a second.
Right. I mean, she was using a Bradshaw wall. So
Nice. Well, I wonder if he makes a special high heel edition.
right. Look at this craziness though. They have a 2 boards here with a camera on one of those sliders so that they can move that camera back and forth on her to get the rolling shot. That's pretty cool. Interesting. That's the kind of thing, you know, your YouTube people pick up on. Oh,
right.
That's how they did that.
Conversation.
Jack said he didn't know Shakira played guitar.
Right. Exactly.
She was the leader of the band.
The animatronic band.
That's funny. I don't even know.
If she did, she has street cred.
Totally ran into a brick wall. Then. Well, everybody have a great night. That's about it. Weird. Totally out of information.
I'm just laughing at Jack's comment. He said he could never play in those shoes. Neither could I, because I could never make it to the gig trying to walk in them. I'd be willing to try, though.
I only wore those shoes on Friday nights when we gigged.
Right.
Like, every other night of the week, they were off limits. But Friday nights.
Were they in with the extra pedals and the strap? Like, did you put them in there? Or did you, like, just stroll right into the low keel? Remember that filter
we were talking about that blues jam. It did. When it left the Low Keel Hotel was the first place. It left there and went to a place called 40 and 8, which was like kind of a club that they opened to the public on that night. Then it left there and it went to a place called The Liquid, which was actually a, you know, not that there's anything wrong with that, a gay and lesbian bar, which was really, really bizarre, you know, like that's where they picked to hold the blues because it was a mix of interesting people during that time, and now it's at a place called Champions. I was only ever there when it was there a couple times, but you know, it's just not causing controversy. But when you go to the bathroom and there's a picture of a half-naked man in front of you at the urinal, you know you're not in the places that you normally visit. For me,
right. And it's not the half that would be naked at Fridays in the bathroom.
It was bizarre.
Remember that filter thing we talked about earlier?
Yeah, the filter's dying.
All right, now we are going into degrees of conversation. You know how Brian tries to get us to go over an hour? I think Brian's trying to rescue us from the current topic, but bring us back to another topic. Not to poke the bear, but instead of relicking that telly, how about having it aged? Not beat up, but like a well cared for old guitar.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe. Let's beat Jason's up, and then we'll gently age mine.
I've had the worst week. If we need a topic, I haven't talked to Chris yet because I can't bring myself to tell him.
Did you even show that, or is this what we talked about earlier today?
No, we've never showed it. We could.
Right, but this is what we're talking about, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Whoa.
Is that like a sorbet?
She doesn't want to stop, dude. She just keeps going.
Since we can't like have the little stinger graphics, we'll just play Anna every time we're transitioning to something.
Right. No, I mean, I haven't talked about it. Maybe I shouldn't talk about it before talking to Chris about it.
Well, you could just say what you found out about it, but then also what you saw on Reverb.
Well,
That woman on the screen is the Beard. Anna Popovich was the player. Jack the Rabbit was asking.
oh yeah, Anna Popovic. So I don't know. Maybe we can't tell the story. We can tell little pieces of the story. So the other day, I'm in the guitar store. A guy comes in with a guitar.
Picking up the telly.
Yeah, I'm picking up the telly from Chris Delporta. A guy comes in with a guitar. No idea what he had. Bought it at a yard sale. I'm thinking, right. Like, he's coming in here to try and pawn his first act guitar off on Chris. This is what it was. I have very limited pictures. This is what he had. Can I give you another picture? There's another one. So, crack up here in the headstock, missing the binding on the neck. I don't think I have a picture. In the back, the body's kind of pulling away a little bit. We tried to what is going on with that headstock with these, like, so he's pounding on it with something or using it to pound in a nail or
David Barber joining, and we found out what it took to get David Barber out of the shadows today.
right.
So it's a national style. Oh, yeah.
We tried to date it based on the serial number, and we were coming up with late 20s, early 30s. And I was excited. I said this is like the Grail guitar for me, like to find an old national resonator. And we play with a guy that works for Beard Guitar in Maryland, and he took pictures with him down to work today. And all I have to say is this is not the one. This is not the one that we need to that you're going to sink money into restore. Unfortunately, it's not a very desirable. Apparently, according to the guy Beard, not a very desirable national. And I haven't told Chris yet, so probably shouldn't be saying it online.
Although he's got a little bit of nothing into it. I mean,
right, he's on the right side of it. I mean, he's not gonna lose out on it, but it's probably not what you're going to send out to Groom Guitars in Nashville to restore and spend, $1,500 to have a neck reset, new frets put in it, and the headstock fixed and the body welded. It's probably not that. But yeah, David is a steel body. It's definitely a steel body, and I don't know what makes this particular model not one of the desirable ones, but that's what I'm told. Which is really frustrating because I have that old. The Dobro, same thing. Everybody looks at it as it's not worth fixing up and making right.
Although you did find some that were probably pretty immaculate shape on Reverb that had some pretty steep price tags on them, right?
Oh yeah, like a national, nationals from the 30s and the 40s. Any national is normally up, like the lowest I've ever seen them is in like the $1,000 to $2,000 range, 15 whatever. Beyond that, geez, I mean, 4,000, 5,000, easy.
Right. There was a question asking if it was a square neck.
No, it's round neck.
And then David Barber says,
I don't know if you can see in the picture. You can't, but I mean, it's been played. It has the fret wear, like if somebody relicked it. Yeah.
Yeah, this was not a gently aged.
I would love to get it fixed up. You can't tell on the picture at the very bottom on the back that body's separating a little bit. There's a crack in the body's cracked and stuff. Dave, if you are really interested in that guitar, you could probably, my guess is it could be yours for pretty good price.
For less than what you sell a pedal for.
Right. In fact, like, yeah. I mean, I don't know for certain. I mean, but just from looking at the pictures, because I was actually going to get it from Chris and give it to Nate. Nate was going to take it down to Beard Guitar and have him look at it. He showed him the pictures, and I got from the response on the pictures that it wasn't worth sending the guitar down. You'd have some work ahead of you on it, but I'm really bummed because I really, really wanted it. I was all I don't know, Pat. I was like over the moon. I'm like, oh my gosh, this old National came in. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna put the money in. I'm gonna fix it up. I'm gonna finally have an old National. It's gonna be awesome.
David Barber said he'd trade a pedal. He just didn't say whose.
Well, when I talk to Chris, I'll find out what he wants.
Jack the Rabbit wants to know what shape the cone's in.
No idea. We didn't take it off.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounded. I mean, when you pluck those strings that are on there, it sounded okay. There's a break in the headstock. I don't think you can see it on the picture, but if you look in the upper left-hand corner of the picture, you can kind of see where it's been kind of glued. Like it's loose up there. Like really, I'm not sure how those strings are staying on, or we didn't try and tune it or anything. It didn't look like a good idea to tune it, to tell you the truth.
Well, because it was straight from the yard sale right to the music store, pretty much.
Right. It was literally in the yard sale, like in a bucket with a thing over top of it or something. The guy was like, "What's that?" Oh, it's an old guitar.
You may have just figured out a way to get your new Barber pedal.
Right. Well, I mean, and Dave said do the work yourself and make it. If I could, like if I had the tools and the know-how, like to reset a neck and to put the binding on, and
well, how about you get it and take it to your neighbor, and we'll make a whole nother episode about it.
Oh, get Paul to see if Paul can do anything with it.
Right. David Barber wants to know if the headstock's the only issue. Jason's doing some of this off of memory because they didn't have a picture of the back, right? But you said there were some other things.
Well, there might be a picture. The headstock is not the only issue.
David's asking if the neck is bolted.
No, I don't think so.
Because you said something about a reset, right? So that would not be.
Right, the neck needs reset on it. Let me see if I can. Yep. Hold on 1 second. Hold, please.
Yes. How about some Anna Popovic music? Tim from TL Pedals jumping in here a few moments ago. Brody, while you're doing that, Brody commented that we inspired him to play his PRS with 2 pedals this weekend. It was a crazy weekend for Brody. Not playing a Fender or a Gibson and playing more than 1 pedal.
You probably can't see this. Doesn't show up too well, does it? That's you can barely see, but that's cracked along that, like the body's separating. So it would probably need to be welded back together somehow if it could be. And I got the feeling from what Nate said that it wasn't necessarily welded together to begin with. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, Dave said he missed a few episodes. He actually had to work. So, Dave, can we get an update?
Yeah, that must mean you got enclosures, right? If you're working.
I mean, I do have access to welding at school. I have kids that could maybe weld it for me, students. I don't know, or maybe the shop teacher could weld it for me. But listen, I've accepted my disappointment and moved on, and now Dave is trying to get suck me back into being.
Brian Landorf asked what it would sound like with some twisted tellies in it. Actually, Brian didn't ask that. I don't know. David, since you were away for a little bit, I don't know if you saw the finished product with Telly with the Bigsby and the twisted Tally pickups in it.
How do they put the neck on a steel body guitar? That's a good question.
David Barber welds. Shocking. Or one weld. I thought he said I weld. One weld. Okay. I don't know.
Something serious happened. We won't be building pedals for a couple of months. Really a personal tragedy for one of my guys. Bad situation. Oh, no.
That's not good.
No. Sorry to hear that all around.
Yeah, because that's a close-knit family you got going down there.
Wow.
I was going to say JB Weld. I don't know. Maybe we could become like some kind of guitar rescue. I don't know.
Well, Greg at BCR could probably get it rocking. I mean, I think Chris could get it rocking himself. I think the deal is the time and effort that I would have to put to pay somebody to do it will never justify. It won't. The price of it, like I could go probably buy a new Beard guitar and have a guitar that's worth something.
And look like it's a signature model.
Right.
That's what I was saying, Brian. He said, how about your buddy down the street? That's what I was saying, Paul, right?
Well, and it's kind of like this. It's kind of like this, like that, and like this.
Little Barefoot Jones there. He's must be playing. Is Bosco coming over today? Were you getting dressed up for Bosco?
Turn the camera. It's kind of like this.
Bosco's coming over for a lesson. Yeah, looks good, right?
Looks great, but you know, if you look, you can't see the action on it. Super, super high, so you can't fret anything past like the 3rd fret. And I've had several people look at it. I had Nate from Beard look at it and talk to him about it. And what it basically comes down to, the money that it would take to fix that neck, if it could be fixed, in the era of this resonator, it's not worth it. You know? So it's like I mean, you can still slide on it if you want. Well, maybe not. Oh, it's an open G. Ah, sorry. But I want to be able to like fret it. I want to learn to do some of that where you can actually fret it too. So it's been a long time since I tried that. Forgive me. Looks cool.
David Barber is imploring you. Jason, you're a science teacher. You need to start watching Luthier channels and taking on fixing these projects. I mean, for science.
Yes.
For the propagation of the species. By that, I mean resonators. And
I tell you what, that's the thing though. You go back to that dobro that came in. I mean, the story's there. It's found at a yard sale. It's an old one. You look at it. I was convinced it was going to be a good one because of how much it had been played. You could tell it's been played hard. Like there's stories in that guitar, and I don't know. I'm with you, and I do. I mean, I do some of the stuff. There's some projects that I'm kind of like, I don't know.
I don't know because I just, yeah, right. I do everything under the guise of support local. So I do nothing. I farm it out. Give people a living. But Brian Landreth, your buddy went for a name, just a name. Have a buddy, Swamp Donkey, that plays a beautiful old national amazing player.
Yeah. Have you looked at the beard guitars?
I think we're
Blues
about
is
there.
not minty. Dave, have you seen beard guitars before?
We're either going to go back to Anna Popovic or Beard's website. Hold, please. We should have a wheel that we could spin.
We had these up already once, right?
Yeah.
So maybe I don't need to do that.
No, they make some really nice stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I get what he's saying. Like, you think bluesy, you don't think.
So you'd rather go down to the Crossroads than play for Nickel Creek, is what you're saying. There's one that looks a little bit like the one we're talking about.
Right. I mean, so do you take this old dobro and fix it up, or do you just... No, that's an electric. That's a really thin body on that one. I forget which one.
Just while you're doing that, one more reason to make our field trip to David's place. He says he has nationals. He loves them and has a bunch of them.
So you have any you want to sell?
Alms for the poor.
You have any on the chopping block? Send me a picture of the one that's on the chopping block.
Anything like maybe stainless with like palm trees etched on the back of it?
I'm not soup. I mean, I wouldn't turn one down because it had palm trees. But I do like the other ones a little better. Dave said, if Old National was the right place, I'd be all over it.
Well, stay tuned.
I'm telling you, text me and tell me. Because I bet we could get you a pretty good deal on it.
We could.
I bet you after the news that I have, you can get you a really good deal on it.
Did we mention it came right from the yard sale?
Yeah. Funky donkey. Really like beer guitars, but I'd be more Spider for their stuff. So what do you like better, the tricones or the Spider Bridges or the other ones?
He has the Tricon, he said. Right now, at least.
Yeah. Do you know what? And then I don't know why we're down this road so deep, but then the other one is, have you seen the mule guitars?
Yeah, you were telling me about those. It's almost like ordering a King of Tone pedal.
Right. Like, just for those of you that like that kind of stuff, go out and check out muleresophonic.com. I think was it the guy from Music Is Win that did that episode?
Yeah, Tyler.
Where he's playing one of those. They look crazy good. But you have to put a $250 deposit down. Current price is $3,300. Wait time is 1 year, I think. Wait time is 12 months. So you have to put a deposit. They're very expensive, and then you got to wait a year to get them. But they look really, really nice. Mule guitars. Check out Mule. And if you don't like Mule Resophonic guitars, go check out Government Mule because they're killer too.
That's right. Just keep going down the mule trail. Well, in Brian Landreth's graphics on his one video yesterday, there was a picture of him and Warren Haynes.
Dave says he paid yard sale plus 2%.
Again.
What's the link Brian put in so we can tell
I
people?
think it's to that Maybe you're talking about Gwen Ashton, maybe?
Okay.
No, it's Pete said that. No, Pete said that. Sorry. Wait. See, now David Barber has to come on today's show when I'm reading the comments like an 85-year-old man. I've gotten brilliant at reading comments until David shows up, and now I'm all...
Well, I mean, Dave, you probably don't have enough to do, so why don't I get the guitar, give it to you, you fix it up, and then you can give it back to me.
We'll feature you as an up-and-coming luthier.
We'll do an episode.
We'll bring a couple
skills you didn't know Barber had.
Yeah, we'll say stump the barber. We'll bring down a couple amps, a couple pedals, a couple guitars, and just see if there's something that you can't fix.
So we don't think you can do it.
There's no losers. Well, you would be the loser in that case, because for us, there'd be no losers in that game. See, again, Brian Landers with the great Southern names. Tudor, Meredith.
Yeah, I think it's a thing that I would get into, the whole building of the guitars and repairing the guitars, if a couple things. I mean, one, we're doing this YouTube thing, plus high school full-time, and then graduate classes about full-time. So, there has to be somewhere, there has to be some give. At least we're not rehearsing one night a week and playing one day a week right now, but...
well, and you forgot granddaughters too. So
yeah, and then somewhere there has to be some give. So like having somebody install the bridge on the telly doesn't really bother me. That might be, but it is something I would like to be better at someday. I don't know. Why don't I get it? We'll look at it. I'll find out more about its availability. I kind of have first right of refusal on it, I think. But if you were 100% that something can be done with it, I just don't want a wall hanger. I have a wall hanger.
Well, you can have a special case. The Strat, Goldie, that one, the new National. Hashtag things that won't leave the house.
Does it play terribly? I would say it doesn't play. I would think with the headstock crack, which probably really isn't. I could probably, that's a repair that I would almost feel comfortable that I could do. But I would say with the crack in the headstock, I would be afraid to bring it up with tune. And the action on it, where it's not really brought up to tune, is higher than the dobro I held up. Swamp Donkey. That sounds like an event. Swamp Donkey Rocks.
or a specialty drink on Blues Night. I have a Swamp Donkey on the Rocks, please.
Right, a 1930 National is a pretty good wall hanger. That might be what Chris wants to do with it eventually. It would look cool hanging in a shop for sure.
Yeah, it's got all the nice barnwood background with that. It would look right at home. Well, welcome to today's episode of Guitar Brokers. We just need to add a couple zeros to the end of it if we're ever going to do anything about that.
Defender FR resonator guitars were great and practical. Has anybody ever looked at the Dave? Have you ever, or anybody else that knows? Because wasn't who was Jack the Rabbit was saying about finding a cheaper resonator. Have you looked at the Republic stuff at all? Has anybody looked at that? When I was in Nashville, there's a little store on like Martin Luther King Boulevard or something in Nashville that has like really, it's a little kind of, you open the door and the dog runs out and everybody chases it down the street and you're standing there. What just happened? But they had like some really high end guitars in there, and he had a bunch of Nationals in there, and he had a bunch of Republic resonators in there too. I don't know if anybody's ever played those. That might be something to look at, Jack, because I've been thinking about that to scratch that. Bitch. Chris had a Republic Parlor resonator in there one time.
Yeah, Hobo Rody said he doesn't mind butchering his equipment, but if he wants something that has resale value, he's not ashamed to pay somebody competent.
Oh, messed up again. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Brody mentioned that Fender because Brody has a Fender. That's probably the one he was talking about in his. I think it was a gift from his in-laws or something, if I remember correctly.
They look nice though. The tricones there. I don't know what they run.
The Great Vanzini, welcome in. He said Beard used to upgrade cheap Rezos at a reasonable price.
They still do that. They have the they have a line where they bring in
Gold tone
and they upgrade them with their biscuits and stuff, I think. Well, there you go. Republic Tricone 213 Woody with half price shipping. What's this one right here? $749 plus $39, brand new.
Two quick things in the chat. Brody said that's the exact one that he was talking about that David mentioned. And Jack the Rabbit is asking if Republic guitars are from Texas. I don't know if you can probably tell from reverb though.
Yeah, they are. It said it on the website.
Gotcha.
Right, I mean, I just don't know. Are they, you know? They're going to sound as good as a $4,000 National? Probably not. I don't know.
Did you see David's question there? Is the National similar to the model Derek Trucks Buka White National?
I don't know. If he's talking about the one that... So the history lesson that I was given, there are some really old Nationals that are like kind of painted like that one is kind of painted that are very high, like have high value to them and worth fixing. This apparently is not one of those. So I don't know what the difference is.
So you're fixing to not fix that one?
Right. I don't know. And Jack says he'd be very wary to just order one. He would actually need to play it first. The one or two that I played were all right. I keep going back to that guy. It's called Vintage Guitars in not Nashville, in New Orleans. But he seemed like a nice guy. He had great stuff in there. I kind of thought about like just calling him and being like, all right, what would you do for a resonator? What do you have and what would you do? Now you can find a shop on Facebook. International Vintage Guitars, I think is what it's called. Anybody know that place?
I don't.
The International Vintage Guitars.
Does it come with a free voodoo doll?
Yeah. International Vintage Guitars. I'll tell you what, though, he had some crazy cool stuff in there when I was there. Like a real what was the one that Chris had with the metal on it?
The Zemaitis.
Zemaitis, yeah, like a couple real Zemaitis. He had like 2 PRS Dragons in there, which is
that's
crazy.
right. You did tell me. You told me that. That's right.
Like he like opened the case up and pulled them out for me. Like definitely dragging the whole way over. Like Just some crazy, crazy cool stuff in there. Like, what's that? So anyway, you get the idea.
This is why the internet was created.
Right there, National Tri-Command. He had an old 60s Vibrolux in there when I was in there. So anyway, yeah, cool store. Cool guy. That looks familiar.
Yeah.
Anyway. Are we struggling? Oh my gosh, it's an hour.
Yeah, you can't blame it on Brian today.
I can't. We've run out of so much material I've taken to browsing the internet.
Jason will be back in a minute. Please hold while this Anna Popovic song plays.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to be able to play slide, but I'd like to be able to fret some stuff too. So you're probably right on that. So where are we at, Pat? Are we done for the day? Is this it?
It's as good as it gets.
Brian didn't even ask the burning question that he has.
Save it for tomorrow at 59:50.
If you have burning, Brian, you should really see your doctor. That's all.
You should. That's true.
Really see your doctor and leave that big bottom girl alone. So
if I could walk this way, I wouldn't need the ointment.
Oh my gosh.
You're going to be getting messages from Brian's mom if you're not careful.
Right.
There we go.
Oh man, Anna she won't stop.
What if we just had a segment called, or a little thing called "Help Me, Anna"? Just keep her on standby. She's sort of like a sorbet.
Oh my! So the Wood's a great. Right. Doesn't want to drop 3 to 4K and only sometimes. That's been my problem too. It's like even like a beard guitar, they're pretty expensive. I mean, you're looking a couple $1,000s. They look great, but how often?
Not to extend this rabbit trail, hole, whatever, but wasn't there something that you saw recently that was either like a Harley Benton or something that was sort of in the resonator world?
There was a Rezo Electric, right? Like a electric guitar with a resonator on it and 2 pickups in it.
Yeah.
From Harley Benton for like 180 some bucks. Well, all right. That's it. If you're still with us, I'm sorry. We'll see you tomorrow, I think. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Yeah, and if you haven't checked it out yet, there's actually a somewhat regular-ish video that was released today.
Right, yeah.
By us.
Video. All right, I was reading the last couple comments coming in. Yeah, there's still some Regals around. I saw a Regal on Craigslist the other day. TL said sweet demo, and we got to slide in the honker on the demo too. So the part I played had the Barber Electronics, because that's what I used. So all the little clips are the Barber gain changer, and then when Pat played, he had the honker pedal on. So we got to slip both of those pedals in. So thank you guys. And I think with that, Pat, we have to end this, or it's going to get.
We do. David Barber, it was great virtually seeing you. Don't be shy, and I'm sure there'll be more communication about that national coming your way. But so thanks for joining in. Truly a show about nothing. And on this segment, let's watch Jason use the internet. But with that, I am PJ on behalf of the Beard, reminding you no matter what you hear, you never have too much gear.